Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Spike conversation. And we so happen to have a very wonderful guest with us today. We have Mr. Eduardo Molina. He is well experienced and versed in institutional research. He has been in this field over 20 years now and has managed to traverse the landscape from South America, United States, East Coast, West Coast, working in higher ed from Strayer University, University of Southern California, and now he's the Assistant Vice President of Institutional Research at New York University. And we are very fortunate to be able to hear from him the context of his work and how customer experience melds into that. Spike, if you don't know, is a customer experience strategy firm. We assist businesses with developing their operations so that their customer experience can bring growth and retention for them. So I don't want to do too much of the talking. I'll allow you to hear from him. So Eduardo, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
As Alex told you, my role here in higher education has been very focused on a very unknown area, but critical for a lot of the decision-making process. And institutional research in general helps the institution with planning and using statistics, using data, using reports, now more sophisticated with visualizations and more things like machine learning. And as you can imagine, technology becomes fancy, right? And the specialization for this kind of role also becomes a little bit more complex. So we tend to forget and we tend to go into the academics part of it and what is fancy to do, and we tend to forget that our role is to help each other and to help the top administrators to make decisions in a more informed way.
Right, and I think that that is something that a lot of us get into because we have our technical jobs and we know the intricacies of it, and sometimes we forget the service element, which can be to our detriment. So I guess my first question for you is, even though it's a more unknown area, institutional research, it is really an engine for a lot of decision making. And in your experience so far, what has been the role of the customer experience in moving things along, even though you know the technical stuff?
Because sometimes you don't have the luxury to hire people who have been working with a customer or who understand, as in particular, the customer in higher education. Having those particular skills are not necessarily something that we usually see. So how important is customer service for what we do? It's essential. We have to understand who we are working for, and especially in areas where we get loose questions, when we don't get a specific, tangible, different type of businesses that could bring you something that you can see right away. Is it well done? Is it bad? Is it not what I'm expecting? So with research, it's kind of loose in a way, right? You might think as a researcher, oh, I have everything done. I have all the questions answered, and that might only delay the process for someone who doesn't have the time in higher education to be playing and trying to figure out what we're trying to say, right? I don't want to say playing in a bad way, but meaning they don't have the time, and they want you to be specific about the things that they need and the things that you mean when you have this thing. So, but it's important for us to have standards, right? And here's the role of technology and how we come up with better ways to have standardized reporting, standardized ways to dealing with the customer, the type of questions we get, until in most of the places where I have been, we have never had a basic form for people to ask questions, right? And to translate their thoughts into something that we can deliver later. And for us to have that documentation to go always back and figure out what we need to deliver. So I think those have been some of the things that we have been missing. And once we have those standards, it's just easier to translate what our customer needs into research and make it a product, right? People don't understand that. People think it's just an exercise. It's just a thought exercise, right. and or a fancy way to do something. And they tend to think about the elegance of delivering something and running an analysis, right? When actually answering a question is the key issue here. And that's definitely a customer service type of exercise, right? That we don't think we are trying to provide something that will help our customer to make a decision in this case.
Right. So it seems like the customer experience is sometimes a missing bridge between the technical and actually meeting the need. So, yes, I've seen that too. So I will say I agree fully. So
you can lose. I mean, your client. And you can also waste your time, right? I mean, I don't want to say wasting their time. I mean, because that's obvious when you're wasting your time. I mean, they are wasting. I mean, losing time on opportunity to make something.
And it would not be because you don't know what to do. It's just
Absolutely
missing service elements. I get you. I get you. So I think what we are saying is that the customer service experience is we use it to develop the processes we need to get from one point to the next. And
correct.
Your experience, how have processes improved once that element is included in what business processes are?
Well, as I mentioned, I mean, the first one is time, right? I mean, you are capable of delivering things in a more, but in a timely way. We can be forever trying to find an answer, right? And cleaning, I mean, people tend to think that it only in other fields, right? I mean, it happens, but no, it's the same thing. I mean, we could keep adding a new analysis, multiple analysis, comparing analysis, and then in the meantime, someone is waiting, right, and trying to come up with
right.
something. So I think that the customer, understanding the customer, you go through that. Right away. So time is critical, right? I mean, so you deliver things in a timely way. Also, you are capable of customizing what they need, right? Sometimes they just need a basic table. Sometimes they might just need a couple of lines from you. A phone call will be enough. I learned that early in my career when fortunate that some people might tend to think that you work in some institutions that are not as fancy, right? But yeah, I work in community colleges too. And there you see the president all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get to work with people and understand how people at those roles, it doesn't matter if it's a small group or, in your case, you will be dealing with big groups or small groups, right? And it doesn't matter. I mean, the needs are about the same. Someone has to see a translation and going from raw data to information to knowledge, right? And that's what they want to see. They don't want to hear how you fancily went around and tried this new software, right? Because that's what we love. I mean,
right.
we love to go through that software and program, add a line, clean things. And that's part of the process of what makes this job interesting. But that's not what the customer needs, right? I mean, they need to have that answer provided to them so it makes sense. And that's what I used to hear from him. I said, I don't need tables. I need an answer.
Right. And so using the customer experience strategies to create processes that the customer can easily understand. So on our end or on your end, on the inside, all the technical stuff that you're going to do, but spiraling that may not be what's necessary. So you have processes that they can understand. They know exactly what they're moving through. They understand the timeline.
Right.
And you end up with a happy customer and a better result, and both people understanding what is necessary. So I guess we are saying, you can tell me if I'm right, the customer experience and research and technology need to go hand in hand to get the best end products and the happiest clients on the other side.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'm just trying to think about here in your role in particular, right, as a consultant or someone helping others to reach a customer the right way. I think it also helps you train people, right, and the things that they need to do, and also in a way train the customer, right? I mean, you don't want to say that. I mean, the customer is always right. Course, right? But you need them to understand how they are going to get everything they need and how, right? And I think that's the most difficult issue we have. I mean, that when we don't know what we don't know, right? And this jobs in particular doesn't prepare you for that. I mean, there could be a leader, right? I mean, that you understand everything and you have a vision, but we always need people like you to make that translation. So.
Right, ensure everyone is on the same page.
Yeah, because we lack documentation, right, with these things. What you were saying with technology, right, it has helped us to develop protocols, right? Not just the way we ingest the request, but also the protocols on how we go about answering questions. Other industries have this better. I mean, and I don't want to claim that, we figured out something new right here, I mean, in my office. but because I have seen it. I mean, they have from the beginning, this is the way we meet our customer. This is the way we answer questions for the customer. And I've been in places where they hand you a manual where you have all these different issues addressed. This is how you deal with research questions. And you might think that those things are known, but they are not necessarily something that happens naturally. So they need to be there. So we need protocols, right? And now with technology, we can have all those things in place. We can have background about the customer, right? We know if you have someone who deals with the customer, we will have keynotes for the researcher to know how we deal with that people, with those people, because it's not necessarily that they will be face to face with them, right? And all our customers, I don't want to say have peculiarities, but they are unique, right? And some of them do, right? But what I'm trying to say is that uniqueness that has to be understood. And if we don't have that customer experience, then the customer doesn't get what they need. I don't want to say, that they have to be happy all the time, but you aim, right, to have a customer happy by providing the right information. And I think by having that bridge, it goes hand in hand with what we do, the expertise, the technology, and the customer service point of view. In your case, I mean, as a consultant or someone working with different people, I mean, I think you bring that expertise and you bring that knowledge that will help people to kind of see where they are, right, and go from there.
Thank you so much, Eduardo, for your time today. I think we are agreeing, but we need both sides. So the customer experience protocols will inform the processes that's used, and then the data that we can then get will help us to transform our experience strategies as we go along. So I'm so happy that I was able to connect with you today. Thanks for giving me some of your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Spike family, I know you appreciate having him here today, so I look forward to hearing your comments and views. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.